coronavirus pandemic is changing our shopping habits. It did it overnight. And with a surge in digital payments, the sector is ripe for both growth and disruption. One contender is card issuing and payment processing platform Marqeta. Its technology allows clients to provide card services instantly by connecting firms to big payment networks like Visa without needing them to develop their own infrastructure. As the pandemic hit, the company was able to react incredibly quickly. March and April, in fact, were the busiest for the firm in history. Now, alongside Visa, Marqeta is also backed by Goldman Sachs and counts the likes of DoorDash, Uber and Square among its clients. Jason Gardner is founder and CEO of Marqeta, and he joins us now. Jason, fantastic to have you with us. You've got a lot going on. In your own words, just explain what the company does.
Well, Julia, thank you for having me. This is certainly unprecedented time. So Marqeta provides infrastructure, a platform to companies that want to build Visa and MasterCard card products. They can be physical plastic cards, they can be tokenized cards that into Apple Pay and Google Pay, or they can be virtual cards. And what they do is they basically are both consumer or commercial use cases so that they can build these cards to solve specific constituency issues that they're looking to bring to market.
What you've got is actually quite revolutionary when we're talking about things like Instacart or DoorDash, when you've got a delivery person going to a store to collect something for someone else, and the way that they can use your version of the card to make that payment. Just explain how this part of the business works.
Yeah, so think about, you have 500,000 drivers, whether it's DoorDash or Instacart or Postmates or Uber Eats or Grubhub. You have a number of customers out there that when these drivers go to pick up food, you got to make sure, whether it's a restaurant or a grocery store, they're picking up the right order at the right time for the right consumers. So our infrastructure provides products to our customers so that when the driver is going to pick up the order and that card is swiped or a phone is tapped, it allows our customers to do an order match in real time to make sure that the right order is being picked up at the right time for the right amount. And that allows them to not only reduce fraud down to almost zero, it allows them to scale infinitely, whether it's here in the US, Canada, Europe, or Asia, where we operate.
And I'm assuming that has a critical piece of solving the theft puzzle as well, and the challenge that you have, particularly in this part of the business.
Yeah, I mean, fraud is a normal part of the card ecosystem, and we see that on a pretty regular basis. What I can say is, over the 11 years we've been operating, we've seen almost every facet of fraud, and we are able to essentially stop it in its tracks. Our infrastructure is pretty unique because it allows our customers to go build the products that are specific to an issue, whether it's on-demand delivery, disbursements, e-commerce, buy now, pay later for companies like Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. And it allows them to not only provide this, what we see as really essential infrastructure today, but it also allows them to affect the transactions or approve those transactions, which, in your words, really reduces fraud down to near zero.
I'm assuming that the way that you make money is you just take a cut, a small piece of the transaction size. So you just, on each transaction that goes through, you take your cut. And therefore, as a result of COVID, where we've seen massive increases in transaction volume, you've done well financially.
Yeah, the company has done very well. The last few months, we've seen record volumes across the platform. And the core reason, as you point to, is we're providing essential infrastructure for these companies that, frankly, deal with food delivery. Now, food delivery has, in the time of COVID, has become this truly essential services, including my 83-year-old mother-in-law, who never heard of Instacart, but gets her groceries delivered on a fairly regular basis now. So we as a company are really focused on providing those services. We do get a cut of what is called interchange. It's what the merchant pays to accept payment cards, and that's what allows us to grow. We've seen a lot of unique things going on. We've seen New England, for instance, 6 times the typical ordering we see in on-demand delivery. We've seen a 10x increase in mobile phone payments. So, paying with Apple Pay or Google Pay at the point of sale. We're seeing where essentially cash has become a carrier of COVID or is considered dirty. And we've seen really a number of really interesting facts happen just in the last 3.5 months alone.
Do you think we can sustain this going forward? Because to your point, there's been a fear associated with physical cash over this period. And really, until we get a vaccine or we get through this somehow, that will remain. Do you think beyond that, demand for your products and the growth that we've seen will be sustained? What's your sense of what the future looks like?
Well, the future is now. I mean, we've seen even digital-first technologies, which as a company we believe would be 3 or 4 years away, are happening right now. We're seeing where people are beginning to pay with their phones. They're not, tapping. They're not inserting their cards or swiping their cards. They're actually tapping them on the machines because this obviously is concerned about COVID. Now, we've seen where certainly here in the U.S. where we see a sort of a reverse in regards to opening up the economy. So we're definitely going to see this for some time. What's going to happen late in the year or next year around cash, around people still going to be going to ATMs to take out cash? Will they begin even more paying with their phone? I will bet on it. I think we're going to see a real shift in human behavior around how we pay for things. We'll definitely see an increase in e-commerce, more than we've already seen today. We'll see an even more significant increase in paying at the point of sale with Apple Pay and Google Pay and other mobile-first types of technologies. It's been a pretty significant shift in human behavior in a relatively short period of time, and
Yes.
It's global. It's a social engineering experiment that we've never experienced in our lifetimes.
And particularly for, say, the United States, it's actually forcing a catch-up with places in Southeast Asia, China, where you go, and this is perfectly normal, and we're years and years behind. Jason, come back and talk to us because there's so much more to discuss. That was just a taster of what you guys do, and we will continue the conversation. Jason Gardner, CEO of Marqeta there. Thank you.